Dogman is the newest DreamWorks animation coming to make us laugh out loud, just like the Captain Underpants movie did. The 11-book catalog of the Dog Cop has plenty of material for multiple movies, and that means we also have plenty of villains. Do you know which ones might show up in the film? For example, the greatest villain in Dogman, Piggy the cat. Forget that cute face and those pretty stripes, because this feline has done some heavy stuff. In the comics, for instance, he was responsible for an explosion that injured Officer Knight and the pup Greg, who ended up merging into Dogman thanks to the nurse's genius idea of sewing the dog's head onto the officer's body. Pretty intense, right? In the movie, all signs point to Piggy being the main antagonist, as he's prominently featured in the trailer, visibly annoyed and in the spotlight. And the reason? Dogman is becoming famous as the city's defender, and people adore the hero. This makes Piggy burn with jealousy. After all, while Dogman is celebrated, Piggy lives in the shadows of rejection. I bet all this envy will be the spark that sets off his schemes. So get your therapy up to date, because we have several other cunning, intelligent, and delicious Dogman villains to see if they're in the movie or not. Are you ready? Another episode of Zigzag is starting. When it comes to rejection, Piggy's backstory explains a lot. He had a truly terrible father, Grandpa, who's also a despised villain in the Dogman universe. This striped cat, who doesn't even have a name in the series, abandoned Piggy and his mom, stole the family home, and even traumatized his son by injuring his tail when he was little. That's a lot of cruelty for one father, right? With a parental figure like that, it's no wonder Piggy chose the path of villainy. Grandpa is the type who only thinks about himself. Manipulative, selfish, and full of schemes, he doesn't miss a chance to stir up trouble. In the movie, he might show up during the bank heist involving Jim, which was already shown in the trailer, or even be part of other crimes around the city. In the comics, Piggy even tries to give his dad chances to change, but Grandpa always disappoints, whether by lying, stealing, or even trying to frame his own son. With such family drama and the fiery rivalry with Dogman, the movie promises plenty of twists and turns. On one side, we have Dogman, beloved by all. On the other, Piggy and Grandpa, ready to cause chaos. This striped duo is bound to bring lots of trouble and emotion for those who love villains, with layers and complicated stories. Get ready for the madness! If you're enjoying the video so far and can't wait to see if this will appear in the movie, type hashtag cats in the comments. In Dogman Comics, in addition to the heroic Super Buddies team featuring Dogman, Cat Kid, and ADHD, we also have the team of mischievous and furry villains, the FLEAS, led by the audacious Piggy, with Crunky and Bub as his loyal, or not-so-loyal, partners. In Dogman, Lord of the Fleas, Piggy makes it clear who's boss. He appears on TV, full of attitude, and introduces himself as the gang leader during an interview with reporter Sarah Hadoff. How bold is that? Piggy isn't exactly modest. He leads the FLEAS in a wild plan to destroy the city. But as always, the heroes step in. In the end, the Super Buddies give the villains a taste of their own medicine. With Cat Kid's genius idea, they paint the FLEAS robot brown, turning it into a giant squirrel. The best part? Dogman, who had grown into a giant dog in this story, couldn't resist chasing after the giant squirrel, saving the day and foiling Piggy's plans. This little pig is full of pride. He thinks he's the smartest strategist of them all, and for good reason, as he's the brains behind the FLEAS. Piggy may be small, but his ambitions are gigantic. If he's in the Dogman movie, and it's highly likely, you can bet he'll show up with an ingenious plan to try to destroy OK City. Yes, that's the city's name. Guaranteed trouble. But Piggy isn't just bold. He's also known for his sharp intelligence and bossy attitude. Because of this, Piggy has cemented himself as one of the most dangerous and persistent antagonists in the entire series. If there's someone who won't stop causing trouble, it's him. Who hasn't wanted to meet the Tooth Fairy? Right. But in the Dogman universe, their version is, well, quite peculiar. The Fair Fairy, as she's known, is a short elderly woman with 4 wings and a dog puppet on her hand. And get this, the puppet not only talks, but seems to be her loyal partner in mischief. Forget the idea of a sweet magical fairy. This one's a whirlwind of chaos. Before wreaking havoc, the fair fairy worked as an actress at Gassy Behemoth Studios, a TV and film production company in OK City. She played a fairy in a children's show, but to say she was disastrous is an understatement. Not only did she lie and steal, but she also managed to make kids cry. Of course, she got fired, but instead of retiring her wings, she decided to keep playing the role. Now, as a villain who loves stirring up trouble, in the comic Dogman, Fetch 22, the fair fairy reappears hosting a children's show that, surprisingly, becomes a hit. But, as usual, the piece doesn't last. In the middle of the show, she loses her temper, breaks everything, and turns the place into complete chaos. In the Dogman movie trailer, she hasn't shown up yet, but there's a scene where Dogman gives a presentation at a retirement home. Can you imagine this out-of-the-box fairy popping up amid tantrums and crying kids to cause more mischief? After all, when it comes to the Dogman universe, you can never underestimate what might happen. Another thing you can't underestimate is the amazing releases on this channel. So, subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss a new video. In Chapter 2 of Dogman's first volume, a political conspiracy is brewing behind the scenes. One of Dogman's most megalomaniac villains is Dr. Scum, and this guy is obsessed with robots and artificial intelligence. During this story, Piggy the cat is in jail for the giant vacuum cleaner incident. Suddenly, he's released by an unknown party and given an invisibility spray. The city's mayor blames the police chief for incompetence and fires him because the greatest villain OK City has ever seen escaped on his watch. But in reality, this was all part of Dr. Scum and the mayor's plan to replace the police chief with a robot that would obey their every command. Then, they set up various illegal and criminal operations in the city to make loads of money and ordered the robo-chief to keep the police away from all these evil activities. But Dogman, who is still part man, uses his phone to record the mayor confessing to all of this. Because, of course, he has a phone. Then, after Invisible Petey tricks the robo-chief into destroying all the illegal buildings the mayor ordered, he plays the video of the mayor confessing her crimes for everyone to see, leading to her arrest. Pretty smart dog, huh? In Dogman's world, villains never stop surprising us. Have you ever thought about an evil hot dog? Well, that's exactly what happened when Piggy the cat was about to take a bite out of a delicious hot dog, but had a completely crazy idea. Instead of eating it, he grabbed a magical spray that brings things to life and used it on the snack. The result? A hot dog with legs, the ability to talk, and loads of personality. But the snack started treating Petey like a father, and the villainous cat outright rejected it, with no remorse whatsoever. The problem is, nobody likes being rejected, right? The hot dog got angry. Very angry. And, like any good villain, it decided to get revenge. The plan? Create an army of other living hot dogs and take over the world. Yep, a true sausage uprising. But fate was cruel to these walking snacks. In a highly ironic twist, they ended up eaten by a dog. That's right, literally devoured. So far, these rebellious snacks have only appeared in Dogman, A Tale of Two Kitties. Will they appear in the movie? Hard to say. But you never know, right? Who's to say that magical spray won't be used again to create another gang of evil food? Here's a tip. Never underestimate a sausage with legs.